It's the Real News Network, and I'm Ben Norton. For decades, Pakistan and India, two of the largest countries in the world, have been bitter enemies. But a new prime minister in Pakistan has renewed efforts to try to reach a historic peace deal with his neighbor. Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced that Pakistan's government and military want to restore their relationship with India. As a sign of genuine interest in opening up relations, the Pakistani government announced the creation of a new border crossing with India in Punjab province. This Kartarpur border corridor will allow Indian pilgrims from the Sikh religion to visit holy sites in Pakistan without the need for a visa. This new border crossing will officially open in 2019. Imran Khan gave a speech at an opening ceremony for the corridor on November 28th, in which he said, quote, "I, the Prime Minister, my political party, the rest of our political parties, our army, all our institutions are all on one page. We want to move forward," he said. And then he added, "If India takes one step forward, then we will take two steps forward toward friendship." Specifically, Imran Khan said Pakistan wants to trade more with India and have economic ties, and they want to work together to fight poverty. Joining us to discuss this breakthrough and the potential for a peace deal in the future is Munizae Jahangir. Munizae is executive producer, anchor, and senior journalist at Aj TV. She is also a documentary filmmaker and a co-founder of the group South Asian Women in Media, as well as a member of the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan. Thanks for joining us, Munizae.
Thank you so much.
So, Munizae, can you respond to the news of the opening of the thing in Punjab and Imran Khan's claim that he actually wants to seek a peace deal with India?
Well, the Kartarpur border and the corridor that is 4 kilometers long, which links India with Pakistan, is a right step forward. However, as we heard from the Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj, that it does not mean resumption of the bilateral dialogue between India and Pakistan. Now, there are divided families, there are people who have businesses, there are people who want to go to each other's, Indians and Pakistanis who want to visit each other's country for religious reasons, there's religious tourism. So obviously our people are linked. This used to be one a big country which was then cut up. So there are vested interests on both sides, and there's a lot of demand that there should be people-to-people contact. You know, people in Pakistan and India feel that this is important. So it's a very good beginning. However, the Sikh yatris, the Sikh pilgrims who will come to Kartarpur, will only be allowed to be in Kartarpur. So they would be around the Gurdwara. There would be a boundary wall, and they would be confined to this boundary wall, and then they will go back. So it's a visa-free corridor, and from what I understand, it will be 50 rupees. I don't know how much that is in Canadian dollars, but it will be 50 rupees, which is a very, very, a very reasonable fee. And it will allow Sikh pilgrims to visit one of the most auspicious religious sites, which is the Kartarpur Gurdwara Sahib.
Yeah, and let's talk more about Imran Khan's potential peace efforts. This is not the first time the new prime minister has tried reaching out to India. In September, Pakistan and India, their foreign affairs ministers, had initially agreed to have a meeting in New York City during the United Nations General Assembly. But then police in Kashmir were killed by the militant group Hizbul Mujahideen, and the Indian government blamed Pakistan and abruptly called off the peace talks. In response, Prime Minister Imran Khan condemned India's cancellation. He wrote on Twitter that he was, quote, "disappointed at the arrogant and negative response by India to call for my resumption of the peace dialogue." So do you think now that we will see a potential renewal of peace efforts? Of course, India has an election, a general election coming up in mid-2019, and the far-right BJP government has made opposition to Pakistan a key part of its politics. So do you think that there could actually be a serious peace dialogue, or we might see it called off again?
Well, that was the question that I was asking when the Kartarpur corridor was inaugurated to Indian policymakers and to Pakistani politicians. Now, Pakistan is very keen to start a dialogue, and Pakistan, for the first time, it says that the military, which is very hostile to India, and the civilian government led by Imran Khan are on the same page. Imran Khan, unlike other civilian leaders, has a very close relationship with the military in Pakistan. The opposition accuses the military of bringing in Imran Khan. So and rigging the election and bringing him in as prime minister. That's one of the accusations against Imran Khan. Therefore, his stance is seen to be very closely aligned to the military stance. And for many years, it was considered by Benazir Bhutto, former prime minister, and former prime minister Nawaz Sharif, that the army did not want good relations between India and Pakistan, or peace, durable peace between India and Pakistan, or that was the perception that was there. And there's certainly many incidents I can quote you where, the former Prime Minister Benazir was called a security threat for cooperating with India on terrorism, that Nawaz Sharif was dubbed even as an Indian agent for trying to resolve the issues between India and Pakistan, and welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Pakistan. So it seems that that phase is over, and Pakistan is now in a deep economic crisis, and therefore they want to have good neighborly relations with India, because that would mean more trade, that would mean access to Indian markets and all of that. And that is what Prime Minister Imran Khan emphasized yesterday. He said that the military, for the first time, the military and the civilian government are on the same page. But when you look at India, India is going to, as you rightly pointed out, they're going to have elections next year, and their rhetoric, the BJP rhetoric against Pakistan, has been quite harsh. They have criticized Pakistan for sponsoring terrorism. They've accused Pakistan of sending terrorists to India on various issues. They blame Pakistan for Pathankot. And therefore, there are reasons for BJP not to move forward on the peace dialogue in their mind. However, I do believe, and I've been speaking to BJP politicians, I've been speaking to other politicians in India, they do believe that once the election is over, Modi, who's known as a risk taker, may just extend another hand of friendship to Pakistan. But at the moment, there would be no such adventure before the election.
And then finally, before we go here, is this historically unprecedented? Do you think that there is a kind of similar historic parallel in the past several decades where a Pakistani prime minister has reached out and tried to pursue peace dialogues like this with the military in support of that peace dialogue? Is there a historical precedent that we could look to see how this could turn out, or is this uncharted territory?
Well, in certain ways, yes, there may be a historical, reference that I can give you. Many believed, that, even before Kargil happened, that the army was on the same page as Nawaz Sharif. And that's certainly what Nawaz Sharif's party believed. However, there was already murmurings of how the army was not really happy with Nawaz Sharif. So there are those incidences where it seemed at the forefront that the army is, on the side of the civilian government, but it has turned out to be otherwise from what we have seen.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Munizae. I know you have to run, so we'll end it there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, we'll have to end our conversation there. We were joined by Munizae Jahangir. Munizae is executive producer, anchor, and senior journalist at Aj TV. She is also a documentary filmmaker and a co-founder of the group South Asian Women in Media, as well as a member of the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan. Thanks so much for joining us at The Real News.